What up, fam? We're about to run this intro. Off-season grades, birds of a feather. Let's go.
What's up, my family? Listen, first-time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Slap.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
What's up, party people? It's your boy OGP. We got PY over there. We got Chucks over there. Jake down there. PY is, let's go this way. Yeah,
there you go.
Okay. So as you can see, we're back from a bye.
He's not paying attention.
I am paying attention.
The Sixers are about to lose their second game in the season, so it is what it is. It is what it is. But we're back after the bye week. We had to take a bye week. I would actually say we probably felt a lot better
before the
last Tuesday and today. I mean, everybody I think is feeling a little under the weather.
Yep.
I feel better today than I did last week.
Yeah, I mean, you had a
those
tough
shots. I am never getting the Moderna vaccine. I gotten Pfizer all years before, and I would be good for after 24 hours. I'll be good. But this one, it had me out.
This one right here.
My God! So
you don't
never
mix
again.
liquor,
I'm never
you
getting
do,
Moderna.
Also,
again.
don't miss mix up shots.
Yes, I didn't know. I got the one that was, whichever one was closest to was at my pharmacy. And they had Pfizer years before. This year they had Moderna. So I was just like, I'm just gonna freaking get it. Yeah. And that hit me. So never again.
But anything else going on? I know Jake, PY, anything else before we jump into the show?
None. Still trying to fight through this sickness, changing weather. It's getting colder outside.
So. Dude, I was in the office today at work.
What's that like?
Beautiful campus. We have a weather thing, and it's literally in the morning. I went downstairs for breakfast because we have Airmark, the same vendor that's at. So pretty decent breakfast, They had the thing for the weather, and it was Friday. It said 54 and rainy. I swear, no lie. By the time I went outside, it said Friday 68 and sunny. I'm like, so when you have those drastic changes like that, and there was a freeze warning Monday going into Sunday going into Monday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's different when you had that fluctuation. If you're not gonna pull your fight, but even how I say this, every time how I feel right now, how you feel right now, how Chucks feels, whatever, right? PY probably always feels like this. Yeah. Your immune system won't prevent everything, right? You could always feel a little something, but it's how it's like a rubber band. Your immune system, how you bounce back, right? So I've been fighting, man. It is what it is, yo. Backing off around all the germs.
People, man.
Bro. People was dirty. When I had my first Umi experience, I found out there's another one near Atlantic City. So I'm gonna have to go check that one out. But brought to you by Allow Travel, specialized in creating a vacation in your dreams at Disney, Universal, wherever heart calls you. Let their talented team of travel experts, Chucks, create a custom vacation just for you who is busy and he won't refer to you as a customer. You are his client. So reach out. Reach out to Andy as well, Disney family, DF. I actually we got to come back to this in No Huddle, right? Because I had a question posed to me by one of my colleagues, and it was a great conversation that we had yesterday during a busy Monday, so it kind of helped us get through the day. But our kickoff question tonight, Nate Rosario, I have watched every episode of Teen Wolf with Tyler Posey, even the movie. It's one of my guilty pleasures. Yeah, Brian Johnson and Sean Desai, our offensive defensive coordinators in their first year here with the Eagles, deserve A grades so far this season, or thus far this season. Agree or disagree? I want to say eeny, meeny, miny. I'll pick myself. I agree. I mean, at this point, you're one. It hasn't looked the prettiest as when Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon was it was here, especially on the offensive. But Brian Johnson has, as we said this with Chucks, and we talk every day, all day. The improvement has slowly started to be there. And now the biggest thing is I want to attribute to why we're 8-1, why it hasn't looked the same, is Jalen Hurts' step forward as just in the pocket as a true passer of the football. I think he's taking a step forward there. Sean Desai probably doesn't have as much to work with. Definitely a lot more injuries this year on that side of the ball versus last year. So the stability hasn't been there. But we've seen when we needed to make a play, we make a play against the big test offenses that we faced. He comes up big, changes the game plan, makes it difficult. We'll see what happens this upcoming Monday. We all know what that is. It's circled on the calendar. So for me, I give them an A because going into the season, we were talking in August, like we thought we were going to take a step back. We didn't think we were going to be 8-1 heading into the bye. You know what I mean? And realistically, some bitches should have been 9-0. They should be undefeated. And it sucks that you have that team and that other green as your one mark on your record right now. But that it took you 4 turnovers. And I mind you, let us say it was 4 turnovers and you still had the lead. Like you still had a chance. So, so thank you, Greg. He says he disagrees to the kickoff. I'm going to go to you next, Jake. What do you feel?
I'm kind of going to build off of Greg's comment. I'm going to agree with the poll. Early on in the season, when you look at the offense, it wasn't as consistent as it is now. It consistently got better, and Brian Johnson play calling improved, and I'm sure Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, they all met behind the scenes, and I'm sure they talked about it a lot during practice. But, we're scoring 28 to 30 plus points a game, so you can't complain, and our red zone efficiency's gone up, especially in the past couple of weeks. So you can't really complain there. As far as Sean Desai goes, you said it perfectly, Pete. He's playing with the hands that he's dealt. He's dealing with a lot of injuries, but at the same time, when this defense needs to step up and get a big stop, they do it. And we complain about it and we pull our hair out, especially in like the Dallas game where we gave Dallas so many opportunities to win that game, and the defense stepped up. And I think this bye week was the perfect time just for players to get healthy, and especially guys like Sean Desai to kind of reevaluate things on defense.
PY?
So I'm actually going to disagree with the poll. I actually think Sean Desai deserves an A with everything he's been given. New linebackers, new safeties. The secondary, the cornerbacks haven't really played up to snuff. Justin Evans is out most of the year. You have whatever his name was from in Tennessee who wasn't very good.
Terrell Edmonds.
Terrell Edmonds, just so many different changing pieces. And he's excelled. They're one of the best pass rushing teams in the NFL right now, which is they're on pace with what they were last year. And for a first year coordinator, all you heard was, "Oh man, we're totally we're missing Jonathan Gannon. We're gonna have those moments." I'm like, no, there's never a moment where I'm like, man, I wish I had Gannon. With all the injuries that he's had, he has stepped it up every time you've needed it. No, I disagree with that. He's barely been with the team. So
I think you'll see a better now. The bye week came at a perfect time.
Yeah, he came in when half the secondary was down. So I've been very impressed with Sean Desai, because even when things aren't perfect, he's not Jonathan Gannon. He's not stuck in that comfort zone. He will go out of his way to find room for guys. He'll use Nolan Smith. Last year, Nolan Smith doesn't even touch the field. Nolan Smith might not be playing as much as I want him to, but they're still finding ways to get guys onto the field. As Brian Johnson, I haven't been in love with him this year as some of the others. I think he's been good and he's trending in the right direction. But there's been some mistakes. The red zone has continuously gotten better. It's not where I want it to be. I want a little bit higher, but it's trending in the right direction. I can't give him an A. Like, he's had most of his pieces and everything you need for an A game, and he just hasn't given it to me. By the end of the year, I would argue he probably does. Like, because you're just continuously getting better in the red zone, which is has been our biggest issue in the last 3 or 4 weeks. So I'd give him like a B.
All right, save Chucks for last. Don't leave us in suspense, sir.
So I it's funny because I'm with PY in terms of I disagree to the poll. I would give Sean Desai an A. I would give Brian Johnson probably like a B plus. The reason why it's not an A is because there are still certain things that I'd want to see him do differently. I want to see more creativity out of the run game. Because it hasn't been working, and I know that Opeta is a big problem or one of the big reasons why it hasn't been working. But if that's the case, I would like to see him and Statler get more creative in the run game in order to get more out of it as you can. So, and there are still some things like against the Cowboys, choosing to pass late in the game when he should have just ran it on 3rd and 3. That's another indication. So there's some hiccups here and there, but where I disagree with PY is I think the red zone offense has arrived. I don't think you can get any better than what it has been the past few weeks. The past few weeks, it's been really good. So I disagree on that end. So PY and I reached the same conclusion, same grades for both coordinators, but my reason behind giving Brian Johnson a B is a little different. I think that if you look at the numbers for the red zone offense, the past 4 games, including the Jets game, the red zone offense hasn't been an issue. We've been converting at a high rate. So I think the red zone offense has arrived. There's just some things that need fine-tuning, but with the improvements overall, and if you're considering it overall, like, you have to consider how the red zone offense wasn't working in the beginning of the year. So I'm factoring that into the grade, but it is improving. That's why I give it a B plus. So it's close, but I do disagree to the poll because I think Brian Johnson is, although he's trending up, I have to consider as a totality so far this season, and there were some weaknesses. So
look at me and Chuck's on the same page.
He can't sit still for whatever reason.
But I can't.
Here's the thing, and I think one of the big things we're missing, I know Jake talked about it, PY talked about it, Chuck's man kind of talked about it a little bit. We keep forgetting that last year Shane Steichen had the same offensive line all year.
Yeah.
All year. So Brian Johnson obviously has not had that at all. So there's been more fluctuation on offensive line, which is big for what this team wants to do. And I think I'll specify because I'm not holding Shane Steichen. I'm not holding Brian Johnson to the same grade that I'm holding Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen was already established as a play caller, as an offensive coordinator when he came from the San Diego Chargers, now LA Chargers. So he had experience to it, hence why he's now a head coach. Brian Johnson's experience in the NFL for the last 3 seasons before this year was a QB's coach, not with the headset on, not having to scheme up anything, maybe gave it his input on the offensive game plan. So I think the bar is a lot lower for Johnson and what we need to grade him on the curve, right? I just want to give you some stats, right? So let's just take a look at this. 2022 to 2023. Eagles offensive stats, they rank 4th overall in the league. 367 yards a game, rushing yards a game, 177, 4.4 rushing yards per play, passing 193, big QBR 96.9, and then third down completion percentage was 55.3, right? Points per game were definitely up, 34.7.
Yeah. So
far this year, their yards per game is 376. Rushing yards is definitely down. That's Sewell Pettit, Tyler Steen, that one game against the Jets. But they haven't ran the ball efficiently. But passing yards is up, right? So rushing yards per play 4.0. Passing yards a game so far through 9 games is 247.1. So that's 50 yards more than what they were averaging last year. QBR 97, one tick higher. Sacks 22 through 9. It was a little lower last year. Third down percentage 50%, right on the nose. Time of possession last year was 36 and a half. This year is 30, right around, if you round up, 34, 33.48. And points per game is 28. So they're averaging a touchdown less than what they're averaging last year. It's not that far off. Hence, this is what I say. This is what the eyes are telling you.
Mm-hmm.
The results aren't that far off. And keep this in mind, against tougher competition. Compared to let's go through last year's schedule. Who are they playing? They weren't playing top 5 defense. They weren't playing top 5 coordinators like that, like they are this year. And this is not to say, hey, would I take Shane Steichen over Brian Johnson right now? Absolutely. Sorry, Brian. And this is what it is, right? But I want to make sure we're looking at this from an unbiased point of view. And the data shows what the data shows. And we all can attest. Everybody here we're all in agreement that the schedule, what they faced thus far through 9 games, and this gauntlet that they're about to go through, Shane Steichen got a head coaching job, should be a Super Bowl champion, right? He ain't faced this shit.
Nope.
He ain't faced this, and he ain't faced it with not having his top 5 linemen the whole time, right? Mm-hmm. So definitely got to work on the run game, right? That's a given because you're off almost 50 yards. You're 177 yards last year per game. We're down to 129. If you go through week 3 or 4, I wish I'll find something to get some stats. I mean, we'll throw it up in the ATD post. Like, share, subscribe, and follow everywhere. ATD Radio on everything. I'm pretty sure through the first 2, 3, 4 weeks, that rushing average probably was very similar to that. And then we've kind of tailed off and nosedive off a cliff since, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll also say this. When we look at this, Shane Steichen last year wasn't until very, very late in the season where Jalen got banged up, where pretty much everything was done. Jalen been banged up for the last month.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So BJ is not working with a full deck, and he's learning on the fucking job. And what we're seeing with him learning on the job, guess what, fam? It's not costing us games. We're still winning. You know what I mean? We're still staying on that plus side because Dallas looks like it's not going away. You know what I mean? I'm glad Stephon Diggs acted up after the trade deadline because Jerry probably went ape shit crazy if he got hit. But that's in all seriousness, right? So that's just I just wanted to point those things out before we have moved along. Anybody else had anything else to add?
Yeah, I think that it's a good point to note that like with the run game, we're definitely not. You're taking Jalen Hurts out of the run game. Mm-hmm. Last year, you had Jalen Hurts as a huge part of the run. You'd argue he was the best runner that we had in the run game. So you're taking that out of it. Now you have to rely more so on traditional runs. So that is a factor. Absolutely, it's a factor in our downside. Now, like, I'm not like panicking or concerned over it. I'm just more so like, okay, like it's got to change. It's got to improve. I think that the return of Jurgens is going to help. I think that the bye week is going to help, and I think it is going to improve. I think that this offensive line is way too good, and Jeff Stalin is way too good for this run game not to get back on track and be dominant. It's not going to look the same as last year, but you don't need it to. You just need it to be. You need to get a little bit more big runs. I think that even against the Cowboys, there were still consistent runs enough, where you were getting 3-4 yards, a pop. So it's not that it hasn't been bad. The run game hasn't been bad. We're just not used to it not being dominant. So it's just like we're in a way we're spoiled. It's like, oh, we're not running like at will like we're used to. So it looks different. So we think we're struggling when we're really not. Like the run game will be fine. It's going to be different than last year, but we'll be okay.
I don't think people look at how good Jurgens was.
No, I think we all see now how good it was because you have someone who's.
Well, I'm not talking about
like
us.
Kelsey,
I'm just
right?
talking about like people in general because I don't think he was talked about enough earlier on.
Oh yeah, because you have someone who's as athletic as Kelsey. So in the run game, that's another weapon. You get someone who can pull and get up to the second level. But Opeta hasn't been able to do that. And that's not Opeta's fault. He's a backup lineman for a reason. Greg Miller says, "I believe we're going to implement Rashad Penny more in December, January, hopefully February when the weather is cold." I mean, we'll see.
That'd be nice. I don't see it.
Some people were making a huge deal out of his one run that he had to begin the second half, and I'm just
Super 8, it's fine.
It was one run. I don't know if you can. I personally don't know if I can take away anything from that one run, but I mean, we'll see. I would it be cool if we got pretty good Rashad Penny back into the fold? Yeah, sure, that would be cool, but I'm not gonna. I personally didn't see anything that made me believe, oh, he's gotta have more runs. Like it's
maybe we'll get like a confident Kenny Gainwell from last year. That would be more. I think that's more important to me than Rashad Penny.
I think Kenny Gainwell is right now is confident.
I think he's fine. I think
fine.
It comes up front, and it comes from what defenses try to do, and then what Jalen somewhat being hampered or very much being hampered, and not. And here's the thing, right? Like the run game that we're talking about right now, the issue right now is a luxury to have because it's like I said, it's not costing us games. Like Jalen has taken that step forward, and he has found a way to. With his arm, that he still seems to amaze. Like I don't know how, like, it still continues to be he's to me right now. He's the Giannis of the NFL. He's this kid who has talent, but you don't know if he's going to reach into it. And he excels. He pushes himself. He's self-motivated and continues to get better to where now he's one of the top 5 players in the league. Right?
That's such a good comparison because I would never think of it, but it's so spot on.
Yeah, it makes sense.
What am I here for? Like, what do you think I'm just here to? Like, that's what the fuck I do, man. But no, literally, that's what he is. He's somebody who. You can see, like, okay, he may be good, not really good at the next level. Mm-hmm. All right, surprises, folks. All right, can he do this? He could do that. Can he do this again? He could do that. Now, everybody wanted to come back from last year to this year and see if he could do it again. Not only is he doing it again, but guess what? He's doing it in a different way.
Yep.
Because he's doing it with his arm. What we used to say about what was the one calling card to Russell Wilson? 2012 to like 2018. What did Russell Wilson do for those 6 years? What was the best attribute of him throwing the football? What did Russell Wilson do?
Throwing on scrambling and throwing.
Yeah. No. But who would you if you had needed one type of throw from Russell Wilson?
Down the sideline. Deep down the sideline.
Who throws the best deep ball down the sideline now?
Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody because whenever they throw that near the sideline, I know someone's toe tapping, baby.
Yeah,
it's he has it down to his side. It's just like it's like that muscle memory thing. Like you know how like in basketball, you have the 3-point shooters. Man. It's like
shoot.
They can be horrible everywhere else. I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is horrible everywhere else, but I'm just saying like the muscle memory and being able to just have that innate muscle memory to be able to know how to throw that ball is so it's like in basketball where the great 3-point shooters, they know that this is how much touch, this is how much velocity I have to put on or arc I have to put on this ball. This is how I know how to shoot from this distance. The same thing with not same thing, but it's similar with Jalen, where like he just knows. He knows the timing. He knows the distance, velocity, arc, everything like that. And it's this is why I always said that with Jalen Hurts, it's not about the arm strength because the arm strength was always going to be ulterior to timing and accuracy for him. because his arm strength isn't great. He doesn't like no matter what people are going to tell you, arm strength is not top tier. It's not. It's good enough. It's good arm strength. It's not top tier. But what makes him so good down the sideline on those throws is the fact that he knows the right trajectory, the timing to go through. Remember in 2021 how he really wasn't good at throwing deep. And what was the common theme? We would always say it's because he's always throwing late. He's always he's always hitching, and then he would be off by a beat, and then he'd either underthrow on so many underthrows, or he would overthrow the guy. He worked on that so much that offseason and became so good at it. And the timing is such a huge factor on it, and he's gotten so much better. So that the throws down the sideline. There's no one better in the game than Jalen Hurts. No,
and then like the anticipatory throws, right? So you just go back. I know we obviously we beat Dallas as most of us thought we would. They made it interesting, especially the last 50 seconds of the game.
Oh my God. There was no guys, as I told you, I don't think I've ever had a more intense Eagles Cowboys game than that, where not so much was at stake, but like in terms of how many heart attacks I had.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. Yeah.
I wish I could look at my Apple Watch during those last couple minutes.
But like this one was just more enjoyable.
Right. Well, I mean, and you can't continuously try to win games like that by trying to keep it, because they dodged so many calls, many things broke their way, and they know that. But see, here's the thing: it's almost like divine intervention, right? To where they're winning, but they're not winning where they're satisfied. I don't think they walked away from a game yet. Maybe the Miami game where they felt full, like their hunger was quenched. Their hunger was fulfilled. They can't feel that way in the Dallas game. But like I want to go back to the fourth down throw to Dallas Goedert, right? The fourth down throw. Yeah. Great throw. There was another throw on the deep end that he threw to Devontae where he had to zip it over, and he
in between like three people. Yeah,
arguably the best throw he's had all year.
So it's like those type of throws.
I like the Miami one.
You don't think you would see it. What's up, Tom? And like you said, like Greg Miller says, his work ethic is next to none. Like that's what it is. You know what I mean? So I think we may about to be pay some bills real quick. But I want to get to something. We're going to get to some grades. And I want to give everybody the opportunity to grade the defensive unit as a whole, because I think the consensus is right now from the kickoff question, right? The consensus is Sean Desai gets an A. So if you're giving the person who runs the unit an A, what are you giving the unit's performance thus through 9 games? Are we giving that an A? We giving it a B? You could scale. You could do A, B, C, D like we're in school.
You want to say it now, or you want to do it after the commercials?
Okay, this is a lead.
No, I'm asking. Yes. Do you?
No. We'll get to that commercial. This is a lead in. We got to pay some bills, get some sponsors, but stick with us. We'll be right back, and then we're going to get into the defensive side, and then we'll get into the offensive side, and then we'll get a little under expectation, over expectation. So this is Birds of a Feather on ATD Radio. We'll be right back.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
You staying here, or are we running another one? I know what we're doing.
In our family, food is our daily bond. My nonna, affectionately called Mama by many, found solace and joy in the kitchen, sharing her love through delicious creations. She turned her culinary passion into a flourishing business alongside her husband and sons in 1983. Celebrating 40 years is a testament to our exceptional team, friends, family, and beloved customers. With gratitude, we look forward to the future, expanding our brand to share the highest quality Italian food and wine nationwide. Our heartfelt thanks to everyone who has played a part in our story. Grazie mille.
Hats.
Do we have it? Are we running the third?
Hats.com is the premier destination for quality and fashion-forward hats and more, with designs for every style and trend. Locally based and run by Philly sports team fanatics, Hats.com can help you elevate your hat John. Utilize the easy-to-use guides at Hats.com to find your perfect size and style, and shipping and returns are free. Hats.com. Find yourself in a hat. Use code Philly for 15% off your order. Hats.com.
We'll be right back.
No, we're back. Pete, you're muted.
So hold on.
Yeah, I sung the song, so we're back.
Shout out to all our sponsors here at ATD. Royal Billiards, Game Room, Man Cave, that's in the hot tub for aches. Then you can pair that with some Carlino's food. You can eat it while you're in the hot tub or eat it while you're entertaining at the pool table. And then if you can do it when you get your hat, as you say, as Irv says, elevate your hat on. You know what I mean? Hats.com. So use the code Philly. You can check them out individually. Once again, we thank them for being a part of the A2D Radio family. And now we left off getting into the.
I'm sick, dude. Leave me alone.
He's making it interesting. I love it.
That's the NyQuil talking. That's the NyQuil talking.
Yeah, right. No, that's after this.
But no. So defense as a unit. Once again, the consensus was anybody who disagreed with the poll was more so on the Brian Johnson side of things. And then for those who are just not checking in with us, if you're watching this visually, or if you're going to listen to us on anywhere you could get your podcast. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Let's pop up the poll, the kickoff question one more time, so I can read it for those who may be checking it a little late. Brian Johnson and Sean Desai both deserve A grades thus far this season. So far this season, agree or disagree. So, anybody who disagreed to this did so more for the Brian Johnson side of the question, not the Sean Desai. So now, with that being said, if we're giving the person who runs the unit an A, where does the unit itself, what grade is the unit itself again? Are we saying that the unit gets an A? Is a unit lackluster, and then Sean Desai's scheme and what he's able to do and mix match pieces, is that above that? So, Martian, some may agree. So, who wants to go first? Don't all rush. Who wants to go first? We're giving their grade for the defensive side of the ball.
I'll say this. I'm gonna give. If I were to divvy it up, I'd say the front four as a unit gets an A plus. I'll give it an A plus.
Yeah.
The back seven.
Yeah.
The back seven probably gets a D. So
yeah,
altogether, if you're gonna average it, I'd say it's around like a C plus, B minus, whatever you're gonna say. I think that the front four are the reason why this defense has been able to make plays. And I also want to say that as a whole, I might be giving the back seven a D, but not everyone is playing at that level. I think Reed Blankenship has played well. I think Darius Slay catches heat, but I think he's played fine. Like, I don't think he's the problem. And then I think considering they were just free agent additions, Nicholas Morrow and Cunningham have been fine. So, like, I'm not saying they're playing bad, but as a whole, like, you're missing, you're absolutely missing Avonte Maddox. By the way, I will say this, I don't know if you guys agree, but I don't care what anyone says. There's no way in hell next year I'm looking to move away or move on from Avonte Maddox. I don't care that he's always hurt. He's too good. Okay? He is too good. And with him being out of this defense, you're seeing what you're missing. So I don't care. He just signed a contract extension. If you want him to redo the contract to make it cheaper, then sure, give him less money because he's been hurt. But I'm not looking to move on from Avonte Maddox. He's way too good. So, anyways, you see what his absence has done to the defense. So, like, I think we touched on it before. Bradbury has been a disappointment. You don't have a second safety right now who's been consistent.
Yeah.
The linebackers in coverage have been porous. Yeah. Our slot corner has been a revolving door of people we're trying to do patchwork work with. So, like, it's unfortunate, but that's just the truth of how our coverage has been. Our coverage in the middle of the field has been horrible. And James Bradbury has not played well. So that's how I grade it. Back 7 and D, front 4 an A. So all in all, probably like a C+ or a B-.
P.Y., I'm gonna go to you next, man.
All right, so this should be fun. So the front 7, I'll give them an A2. They've been explosive. They've gotten you plays when you needed it. When the game is in hand and you need to get that one stop, they've been able to get it. Whether it's Hassan Reddick, whether it's Josh Sweat, words. You know, like English. Even when it's words. Like Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith, like you've been, yeah, I know, right? You've been able to get there, which is important considering everyone assumed that heading into this year, you were going to see a massive drop off in terms of the pass rush because there's no way we can continue what they were doing last year. When in fact, we're actually on pace pretty close to what we were last year. Surprisingly, I'm amazed at that.
It's crazy, right?
Yes, right. You would not think of all the dudes you missed out on that you would be anywhere close to the number last year, but you are.
Yeah.
In terms of the secondary, so I'm not going to give them a D. I give them a C because I'm taking into effect of everything that's happened. Like your Avante's out, Bradley Larobe's out. You've missed Blankenship for a game. Slay and Bradbury has not been good. Slay, I think, has been probably your best player along with Blankenship, but they've had to be out for periods of time during games, which has cost you. Like you've had to throw Josh Jobe in there. You've had to throw Eli Ricks, especially against CeeDee Lamb, which was a choice. And I would grade the linebackers an A, if not for Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean is the one who has brought down this unit. Like Morrow has played out of his mind, and Cunningham is showing to be one of the best run stoppers and has been a solid in the passing game. Not perfect, but I think solid. Like
I don't know about
getting those two guys off the street and you're getting what you're getting from them is phenomenal. Like
they've been fine.
We're used to Howie bargain shopping when it comes to linebacker, and every time you're just like, please kill me now, please kill me now.
I mean, I think you can say that for like 30 of the other teams outside of Fred Warner, Dre Greenlaw, and Greenlaw's probably could be had, but it's really Fred Warner in a class by himself. And then maybe
but like they just don't spend at linebacker. Like you're used to.
No, I hear you, but I'm saying even when you spend at linebacker, you probably still will get beat against a lineman. I mean, against a running back or a slot receiver. If somebody flashes in front of you, if you give somebody an option out of the backfield, like the chances are 9 times out of 10 that the offensive player is going to win. Like you need somebody like a Matt Milano. But I get what you're saying. Like you just need somebody to make it difficult, right? To not be as easy. And
when those two are on the field together, that's what they do. Like they've made it very difficult for defenses. And I understand we all love, like we've wanted Nakobe Dean to take that next step. I just can't have him on the field right now. Like,
well, yeah, and the Liz Frank thing doesn't help. So it's like the question, not so much a question of the skill set, but it's a question of this: can the durability? Can he hold up? And so far, as a smaller linebacker,
he hasn't.
I mean, that's just
you're not looking to sign with the Anthony Barr if you feel comfortable in Nakobe coming back.
Well, Anthony Barr is a pass rusher. He's not. He's
not a coverage
guy. If
you
give me Eric Kendricks or somebody like that, then somebody that you could probably put in coverage. But I think they need another bigger hybrid type safety. All right. So for instance, number 14 from Dallas, Marquise Bell, literally grew up 5 minutes from where I'm at right now. Present.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
So somebody like him. Late. That's why the Cowboys aren't really missing Vander Esch, right? You know what I mean? So, whose career may be over with now.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, But that's one of the reasons. They found somebody who's a little smaller, but more athletic. And we don't. To me, I always thought that piece would be Keely, right? But Keely doesn't want to get physical like that.
No.
Keely is he's a corner who has the mind of a corner. Where you get some of these dudes like Derwin James and Marquise Bell, Buda Baker. These motherfuckers is DBs that think they linebackers, bro. Like it's a different mentality, right? And we don't have that. But there's not many teams in the league who do have that,
right?
So. But not very well said, PY. Jake, what say you on your grades?
Yeah, I'm kind of going to go along with everybody else. Obviously, the defensive line gets an A+. Linebackers, they've been okay. Like PY said, I mean, outside of Nakobe Dean, he struggled and he hasn't been able to stay healthy. It's unfortunate. But, I mean, you take a gamble on a guy in the third round and either it was going to pay off or it hasn't. I'm not saying he's a bust already, but it hasn't looked good so far, and it's unfortunate. But that's just the way that the business goes sometimes. And he'll get another opportunity next year, but so far in his first 2 seasons, he just hasn't been able to, let alone stay healthy. He hasn't been able to just put it all together yet. And maybe he will next year, but we'll see.
I'm a fist bump the screen because TA said he's giving fist bumps out there. I don't know if I need the noise. Some of the most powerful fists are the ones that are silent. Just like
True.
Yeah, but all the cool fists have motions.
Stupid.
Stupid.
You're not seeing Power Rangers? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, listen, dude. Like I was a teenager. I was 12 when Power Rangers came out. No, was I 12? Like I was in double digits when it first came out, and then I was on the other stuff already. I had found the female anatomy, and I was already enamored. So from that point forward, it's like it really has to get me. I mean, I follow along loosely. But yeah, Tom says, "Love you guys. Let's go Birds." As always, but I would give, obviously, especially what we lost in Hargrave. We thought the line was going to take a step back, and sacks wise, numbers wise, it kind of has. It was a little slow with Reddick having the cast on his thumb. Ever since the cast, I think he's sitting at 7.5 or 8 sacks now. So I, like we said, the defensive line gets an A. Get it right. Linebackers, definitely saddened by Nakobe's performance, but encouraged by the value that we are getting out of Cunningham and Morrow. So I would probably give them a B-ish, right?
Oh my God.
What in the world?
Yeah, you missed it.
Oh,
exactly.
What did I miss?
Exactly.
Don't ask.
But secondary, bro. I mean, if I could go individually, I would. Bradbury has been the worst. Safety play has been inconsistent. So they get a C-, D+ from me. So overall, I would give the defensive unit, just because of how much and where I rank the defensive line, I'll probably get them a B+, which is probably, and then that'll lead me into this, well, my over expectations. If you could say it's over expectations, under expectations for me is Bradbury. That's as easy. I don't have to go into it.
Easy.
Look at the clips of where we're getting beat. You see the back of his jersey, right? Over expectation. It's hard to do this because he is a first round pick, but I didn't think Jalen Carter would be this good this fast.
I did.
And you know what's crazy, Pete? He's only going to get better.
Dude, I did not think he would be this.
He's only going to get better
this fast.
Imagine if I told you that we're going to lose. Why am I blanking? Hargraves, and you're going to get a better player in Jalen Carter.
Nah, I would have been like, nah.
Yeah,
I'd have been like, nah.
So much for that Eagles downfall, ladies and gentlemen.
I'd have been like, nah. I mean, I didn't see it when you go to Baldy's breakdowns. One of the best in the business.
Getting triple team. I mean, we've had our share of triple things on this platform.
The memory came up a couple of days ago. I've always said Jake was a part of it, Crow was a part of it. It was a fantasy.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
So we've had our share of triple things on this show.
I saw it when I was on break at work. It was dying.
But no, dude, like against, I think that was the litmus test. Like so far through 9 games, he's been dominant. He had the back issue, whatever. But you're going against Zach Martin, bro. Like Zach Martin is regarded as the best guard in the league. That's all pro level. And that dude came up to him at the end of the game. Carter was looking some Ross. Next thing he know, he got Zach Martin like, listen, dude, you just keep going what you're going. Like I gotta get back to the drawing board, bro. Because like he was just like it was oddly enough though. And I went back with Baldy and I started watching Tyler Smith against Jalen Carter reps. Tyler Smith kind of held his own for some of those snaps.
Tyler Smith's been holding his own against Jalen Carter since going back from college.
Because he was in Bama, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, was not Tyler Smith go to Bama, but he was in the SEC, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. I forget what school he's from. But no, you're not. No. No.
I hope so.
Everyone's favorite segment.
I mean, but anything else on the defensive side?
No. Well, actually, real quick, do you think Bradbury struggles this year? Is it more of a scheme issue, just based on the success he had with Jonathan Gannon last year? No.
I think it's just. I think part of it is him coming back down to earth a little bit. Okay. I think it's hard to replicate the year that he had, and then I said a couple weeks ago, when you hit 30 and you're a corner and that downturn hits you, it hits you.
Yeah.
So it sucks because some of these plays, the coverage has been pretty good, but his ball skills have gone from like 80 to 90. Like a rating of 80 to 90 to like a 20. Like how many times have we seen him be right there and just miss? Like like it goes through his hands. He's just like a millisecond like too late. Like those ball skills just are. He's not making plays on the ball anymore. I think it's him coming back down to earth. Like. It's so tough. You kind of just hope that going forward, we've seen the worst and that he can get adequately better. But I don't think we're not going to see the Bradbury of last year. I don't think that's
So and I think he was more motivated last year. You know what I mean? Because he had got let go by the Giants after a big contract. He bet on himself, and if I'm not mistaken, if you can walk me through which corner did we sign first?
Bradbury.
Yeah, it was Bradbury.
After we missed on Chauncey, it was Bradbury next, and then after Bradbury was signed, it was the whole debacle with Slay. So
So while I don't think Bradbury has played great this year, I think a lot of it, while he hasn't been great, is just the whole secondary has barely had any time to play with each other. I think there was a stat where they played with each other as a full secondary one time. Like I understand, like it probably isn't the root of all the issues, but I'd be very curious to see what he looks like in the second half, where it's not a new guy at safety every other week.
Yeah, I agree. I mean. That there's some truth to that for sure. There's truth to that from the standpoint of just, especially in zone schemes and passing things off. So you hope they kind of work on that communication. And I actually, like I said, I can't judge Kevin Byard yet so far through 2 games. Now coming back, getting more acclimated with the defense and him and Desai working together, and the secondary backs coach working together. But I just think with Bradbury in zone, like I think that teams have found out like when there's tape out there, what makes you weak, and then that will move. And then I actually think Ricks could do it if Ricks wasn't so grabby. Like Ricks, he's so handsy.
That's just his game, though. That's always how he's been.
I get it being physical, but guess what? I can't have you getting me penalties.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I can't have you be Teron Johnson. You know what I mean? I can't have that. Because if they had that, the Bills would be 6-3 right now instead of 6-4 instead of 5-5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's it. That's just to me. That's how I view it, right? So from that standpoint, it's tough, man. It's definitely tough. The very funny thing about this comment, well, Greg mentioned Patrick Surtain may be the best quarter league, and I don't want to get off a beaten path, but if the Carolina Panthers make their last within 2 of the last 3 years, if they just make 2 different picks, their franchise may be in a different position. I know the jury's still out on Bryce Young. But CJ Stroud is a pimp. Like
he's so
I'm taking a word from Sweeps. He's a pimp. But also remember they drafted J.C. Horn before Patrick Surtain. Remember that. People don't talk about that a lot. They had a chance to draft Patrick Surtain, and they chose J.C. Horn, who that's another one can't stay healthy, and it's feet things, right? It's a issue. So definitely
no more shot.
So okay, so
that's not why he wasn't drafted.
Nah, he may have some. Is it some off the field issues?
I think there was
he
some
barely played. He got hurt his last year in college. Like he barely
that was
played.
the big thing.
Well, no, it was he transferred to Alabama.
Yeah, and he got hurt, and that's why he didn't play a lot his last year.
No, but he also struggled.
Yeah,
like
that was
when he was put into play, he didn't play well. So
okay,
yeah, that is a legit reason why he went undrafted.
All right, so 50 minutes in, with a lot of time all over the place, and then the last 20 minutes or so to the defense, get to the offense. So we've given Brian Johnson at best what a B plus, what you would give him.
Yeah.
What are you giving the offensive unit as a whole? So we had one coordinator get an A, and he's coaching up the talent he has. We had one coordinator not getting an A, and then he has to kind of help and coach. Is the personnel outperforming the scheme on the offensive side? Would you say?
I give it an A. As a whole, I don't know. I think everyone pretty much deserves an A except for Opeta. Opeta, I give like all things considered, I'd give Opeta like a B minus. Tyler Steen is one start. So I'm not saying he's gonna be horrible, but for his one start, it was like a D plus or a C minus. Like it wasn't a great start. But it's I'm not hating on the kid. Like it's
your
first
start's against the
first start. It's his first start. I'm not gonna hate him. Hard to pick out anyone that doesn't deserve an A. I mean, Gainwell maybe like a B.
I'd give him a C.
Yeah,
like a B minus,
something like that. Like that's it. I mean, everyone else deserves an A in my opinion. I think as a whole, the unit has been great. So
okay. I'll go next and then let you two on the bottom fight it out. I did say that. PY said a couple questionable things earlier about the secondary. I didn't want to be a child. He knows what he said. We'll go back and watch the tape. I didn't.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
I must have missed it. I didn't.
You definitely did, but I didn't.
Now I don't even. I'm
not going to do it now. No, did I definitely feel like I'm a childish? My mind is childish at that point.
Just do it. Just say it.
Right? I'm a big boy. I get bullied by Chucks every day. Like
it's not bullying. It's just a couple things that you said questionable where we could have said pause. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Damn, I did miss that.
Yeah. So
I missed it.
I think you had to give it an A, right? I mean, it's got offensive line for what they had to work with, especially the left side. A, right side. B. Obviously, I'm including Kelsey with the left side. They had some struggles and whatever. Wide receivers. A. I actually kind of want to see Julio a little bit more. Quez Watkins is the thing of the past. Keep being on mic'd up and plain clothes. That's where you best suited at right now. Running backs as a whole,
go routes only.
B plus. You know what I mean? B plus. But I mean, once again, I'm in the same position. Right, I was on the defense. I can't believe I'm gonna do this because the bar was set so high already. But Jalen Hurts, as a passer, has and played above my expectations. Did not think we would see this dude just be able to drop back or take the huddle and go through his progressions and be able to be on Johnny on the spot with the football. And it's not so much about velocity, this accuracy. It's accuracy to a point, but it's ball placement.
Yep.
Putting the ball in the air onto the receiver in a catchable position, right? I could have just said ball placement and let you guys run with it because you minds are the 8-year-old child, but I figure I'd be more intellectual and kind of expound on my thought. But no, that's really what it is. You go look at the deep ball to Devontae, right? I think it was another game, Washington game, where they kind of tried to take everything away, take the big shot away, and he's making you pay that one time you miss. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it may have been the Dallas game. I always watch the Philly mic'd up, and I think it was Coach Moorhead. I think he's the wide receivers coach. And they didn't obviously they bleeped out the play, but it said he was. I don't know if he was talking to AJ or talking to who. He was like, that play is going to be Devontae or open. That's going to be 6. And then obviously you could, with the magic of editing, the very next shot you saw was the ball over the left outside shoulder of Smith over top of Deron Bland.
Yep.
So surprise. I mean, yeah, Don, why you literally just fucking changed your avatar during the show?
Went right to L.
Where'd you get that picture of PY?
You know what? Wow. I hope he gets sicker.
Even though as hilarious as that is, listen, bro, you better change it back to who you know, the Lions, because listen, there's a chance if the Eagles slip up in this stretch, there's a chance that the road to the NFC and the Super Bowl may go through Detroit. It may
very well way.
It may go through Detroit. It may go through Detroit. Just don't eat the pizza on the way, but it may go through Detroit. That's all I'm gonna say. But no, I mean, Devontae Smith, A, AJ Brown, A plus. Who I won't say Julio yet, but Jalen Hurts, A plus. Kelsey, God, this like it's just how good could the good be? Like in every facet, everything.
Enjoy it because this is the last year.
Exactly, but just the character, the person. Man, it's you're not to me next year. If he retires 62 is done.
I agree.
Like that's how I feel.
Yeah, you have
62 is done.
It'll never happen.
Yeah, you have to.
Done.
That's the Eagles don't do that. Like as much as we
they do it for the special ones.
They do it for
PY. It'll happen.
It'll happen. Yeah, they retire numbers. It's just that they're very selective, and Kelsey's number will be retired.
Yes, he's an all-time great.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think of somebody who's under expectations. Honestly, I mean, I would say this, and this leads to what Chuck's wanted to talk about. I would say, for reasons not been nuts to him, but once again, we are going through a stretch of 3 or 4 games, maybe 5, where we don't have one of the top 5 tight ends in the league. And now it was a freak play. I don't know why. Any natural situation. That's the first time I've ever seen somebody get the forearm broken in that manner, trying to brace himself for a fall. But Goedert is a special type of clumsy, bro. I don't know what the fuck it is. Is it because he looks like the caveman from the Geico commercial? I don't know what it is, dude.
See it.
But like last year in the Washington game, the shoulder thing, it's just like how does this shit happen to you, bro?
Yep.
It's just injury, bro.
But that's just from an injury standpoint, because this dude, for whatever reason, the injury bug always catches him. It always catches him.
It's weird. Him and Avante, and they're best friends.
Right.
They can't stay healthy.
Maybe they need to not live with each other.
It's going to be very interesting seeing how we fill in his shoes for the next 4 weeks.
Albert O
4
season.
Games. But here's the thing. I actually would not have Albert O as a starter.
No,
I
Who's
would
your
not.
starter?
I think Jack Stoll should be their starter because Jack Stoll is just so much better as a blocker. And if you're trying to revamp or get the running game going again, Jack Stoll's the one to do it. Albert O is horrific at pass blocking. So like I'm not saying Albert O shouldn't have a role. I think Albert O is your tight end too. But I think if you're going to 11 personnel, if you're going three wide receivers and one tight end, I think Jack Stoll should be the starter to get most of the snaps.
If the concept is you're just having Julio step in to be your third primary pass catcher, that probably makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're looking at someone like Julio. If you're going to run more 3 wide receiver sets, Julio's going to take he's going to do the things off of those play designs where he's going to be that option to whatever Goddard was doing. So I think Julio is going to do that. It's going to be, but I will say this: it's not going to be just one person. It's going to be a mix of stuff, depending on you have to like I said, Jack Stoll your starter, but there are packages where you have to have Albert O in there. Okay, there are situations where Julio is going to take the role of what Goddard was doing. There are going to be situations where Zacchaeus has to step up and make plays from the slot. So it's a collective. It's got to be a collective effort from Julio, Zacchaeus, Stoll, and Albert O in order to fill in the shoes of Dallas Goedert the next few weeks.
I agree.
Yep.
So there was a comment about, and I'm kind of doing some research on it right now. There's supposed to be a rumor with Jalen Carter and a shoplifter incident over the weekend.
Yeah, it's just like a rumor.
It's a nothing.
I'm not going to go.
Yeah, it said it's definitely, I don't believe it because it said calls were made to the Eagles to get the defensive tackle released. I think if you think they're going to release this,
he got released. He got released from the
shit.
It's a bunch of rent-a-cops trying to start stuff. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Joe says, "What happened to Calcaterra? I think he's hurt.
He has a
concussion, and he has a severe history with concussions. So
concussions,
very slow.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah. He'll probably be put. I would wager they'll put him on IR tomorrow.
Yeah, gotta be safe with that.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely have to be safe.
That's the gamble you also took with Calcaterra too. You knew he had a history with concussions. Yeah, I mean, he's a 7th round guy. Again, the talent's there, but with the history of concussions that he did have, it's just you're basically asking for trouble.
Yep.
But it's a shame because I think he has talent, but unfortunately, like I said, with the Nakobe Dean thing, sometimes that's just how the business goes.
Yep. I agree. Did anybody else get their under expectations, over expectations offensive player?
It's
hard.
Or
do you have one?
Yeah,
it's hard.
It's hard because I think
nobody said it would be easy.
Yeah.
He's under expectations.
You know what I mean? That's almost
he crapped the bed.
Under expectations.
Over expectation, and
I don't know.
Everyone's really performing.
So just think about perform. Like, did you expect AJ Brown to go for 6 games?
I guess you could say that's a good one because, like, we knew he was good, but like he's on steroids this year. That's how good he is.
The thing is, maybe I didn't expect, but I'm not surprised because he's just that good. So like, I don't know.
I can't believe he's only 26. I can't believe that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like.
Listen, fam out there, like they didn't understand the assignment. I actually have all 3 of these some bitches speechless right now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There's no like Swift. I called it on Swift, so he's performing what I expected.
Yeah.
Gainwell is performing what I expected. The wide receivers are all performing as I expected. Tight end, same thing. Like I can't think of anyone that really is underperforming or overperforming on offense.
This bitch got.
He changed his
Don has
profile
changed his
picture again.
avatar
Yeah.
again for the third time.
Where is he? Where is he? Oh, there he is.
He's right at the
hosting
bottom
right now. I mean, that's the person to put up, but don't sleep on David Montgomery. All right. So, I mean, anyone else want to go before we transition into we're going to do NFL when we did our predictions, do some redos, and I also want to do validations, something that you did hit on that you said, and then you were proven right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I knew. So if we don't have anything else with under expectation or over expectations, Eagles offense, we'll get into the NFL prediction redos. What we mean by that is, fam, we may have to go back a couple of shows, several shows, to see what we predicted that we thought we would happen. It could be a player making this or coach doing this, team having a result like this, and then now halfway through the season and wanting to possibly renege on that. So who would like to go first? No one raised their hand all at one time.
I'm trying to think.
Let PY go.
Yeah, I'm about to say he's smiling over there.
He's smiling over there.
More than usual.
So are we doing only Eagles based or no agenda radio? There we go.
Whatever you want.
You know, I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna go Eagles based just because I want to save it for PY's 5. But it's Quez. Like,
that's your validation.
That is my validation. Yes.
Of course, he went validation first.
So validation first is Quez Watkins. You said he was sucking. That you could have.
I said he would suck. I had people trash me in, call me a garbage fan, and all this other crap. Mm-hmm. He's gonna show you it's Quez season. Don't you worry about it.
Let's clarify this because I was on Twitter seeing it. No one was trashing you over the prediction. You were clearly rooting against Quez and saying, "No, I don't want to." You didn't want him to succeed.
No, I wanted him to
all
succeed.
Fans,
I
all
just
the
didn't
people
think
on
he
Twitter,
would.
all the people were on Twitter were saying, "Hey, like I hope he does well," and you said, "No, not gonna happen. I want him off the team."
I do want him off the team. I was right.
It was the fact that you were rooting against an Eagles player to do horrible. That's what people got on you for. So don't change the narrative, make yourself seem like the victim.
There's no narrative to change.
That's what happened. That's what happened. So
it's not what happened. Okay,
it's exactly what happened. I can bring up the tweet. It's exactly what happened. PY. Don't victimize yourself.
I was victimized. I was 100%. So much victimized.
Did you just cry wolf? Did you just cry wolf on the show? Did you just say you were victimized?
I was victimized. I'm nothing but victimized. I'm bullied. I'm harassed.
Yeah, Don. Here we go.
I can't wait for PY's 5.
All right.
Todd Sweat, his over expectation is DeAndre Swift.
Todd, you still over there in Germany? Let us know in the chat. So I think I'll go with real quick my redo, and then we can pass it around to somebody else for validation. Redo whatever one you want to do first, and just make sure we're going to double back to you. I think I kind of found myself in the boat with a lot of people here, but I did not. Listen. Aaron Rodgers leaving the Green Bay Packers, like he took the Monstars out of him because I did not expect them to be this bad.
No.
Aaron Rodgers?
No, the Packers.
Oh, the Packers.
Yeah, I did not expect them to be, what are they, 2-6, 3-5, something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Like
a bunch of young guys, yeah.
It is young, but I mean, but I also feel like some of this is on Matt LaFleur too. Like, this is like the scheme, just not using Aaron Jones. I understand he was hurt a little bit. Christian Watson hasn't taken a step forward. Romeo Doubs has emerged as a number 1. Jordan Love kind of showed some signs early in the season, and he's regressed a little bit.
By the way, I wouldn't say Doubs is the number 1. A lot of fans see Jaden Reed, the rookie, as their number 1. But
really?
I can see that too.
Because Doubs gets a lot of touchdowns, but he doesn't do anything between the 20s. They're saying. So like a lot of fans, the feedback right now is Jaden Reed is their best wide receiver.
Got it.
But remember when they drafted Christian Washington in the second round?
and he sucked. People are that fan base
You see what I'm
does not
saying?
like. They do not like Christian Watson. They and for good, he hasn't been good at all this year.
All right, so yeah, that's my redo. I wish I can go back on that. Who wants to go next?
For redo, I think this was a lot of our predictions too, but I predicted that Bijan Robinson would be the walk-away offensive rookie of the year, and
but it's not his fault. It's not his.
No, it's not.
Look at the excuses up top.
No, it's not.
It's not his fault.
You can't battle against Arthur Smith.
Fault.
No,
but Bijan Cook.
Oh my god!
All right, so that was Jake's redo. Chuck's, you can go either way.
My redo is going to be CJ Stroud, and I'll say that because I did not. He was, I think, when we were in draft talk, he was like, I forget where I had him ranked, but I was more bullish on Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, right? And I saw CJ Stroud as, he's going to be a good quarterback. I don't know if he's going to be great. I am eating my words. Like, I was so wrong on CJ Stroud. He is having the best rookie QB season we've ever seen. This guy is so freaking good. It's almost laughable how good he is. Like, he's playing like a season
single-handedly changing the Ohio State quarterback narrative.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's absolutely insane. He deserves, like, and like, I will say this, like, if you remember, I think I brought it up in our chat, but I had said, okay, guys, like, if you took CJ Stroud's performance against Georgia, I forget it was the title game or the playoff game. Remember when he went off? He had it was like his best game of the year. If you took that game and you could say, okay, this is the version of CJ Stroud you're getting in the NFL, is he QB1? And I think we all agree that he is. The tough part is that was his best game. You don't know if that was a one-off or is that a trend.
Yep.
I think he's showing that was a trend. That was absolutely the type of quarterback we're getting right now in the pros. So I underestimated CJ Stroud. He is so much better than I expected. So I'm giving him his flowers.
He's playing as amazing as he is. It's what he's doing it with. One of the worst O-lines in the NFL, subpar wide receiver core. Like
I wouldn't say the wide receiver core is subpar. I think it's
heading into the season, they were ranked as one of the low wide receiver cores. Like, if you were heading into the offseason.
Okay, as a whole, maybe, but I think there was a lot of Nico Collins has always been a good wide receiver, and I think Tank Dell, you just didn't know. Like, I think we're saying Tank Dell is really good.
And Noah Brown, too.
I get you.
Noah
Brown's having a career year with him.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I know it's still early,
right?
And obviously we're halfway through the season. But is CJ Stroud a top 10 quarterback already?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll go
in that direction.
I'll go one further. And I think you guys saw this already, but I'll say it for the fam that's listening. I can count on one hand the number of quarterbacks I would take over CJ Stroud to build a franchise.
Yes, I did see this tweet. Yes, I did.
And it's not 5. It ain't 5. There are less than 5 quarterbacks I would take right now over CJ Stroud.
I'm not there. Yeah.
I'm not there yet because there's always been, like, you'll see someone their rookie year and you'll just be blown away and they just can't always follow it up. Like,
absolutely, and that's
will
fair.
He? Like, Trent, it's not a quarterback, but like, I always look at Trent Richardson to where as a rookie you're just like, I can see it. Like, what, like, the talent is there, and then whatever happened the rest of the time, a switch flipped off in his brain to where it's like, hole, no, wall.
Yeah.
I think that is absolutely fair because we also don't know what's going to happen moving forward. So like, I'm never going to say it's NFL. I'm never going to say never. I think also though, we have to also consider the fact that CJ Stroud has looked much better than any rookie quarterback we've seen. Like, okay, the rookie quarterbacks who have fallen off. Vince Young, he's playing much better than Vince Young ever did. RG3, much better than what RG3 did. Like I just go on and on. Like there's never been a rookie quarterback playing this well. So you have that fact, and you look how he's playing too, and it's stuff that doesn't seem fluky. He's not playing well because of a system, right? Like you know what I mean? Like he's running an offense and he's performing like a vet. That's the difference. Like with RG3, he was playing well in large part because of Kyle Shanahan's system. Once he got hurt and you don't have that system to be a crutch for, that's when you saw his downfall. So like I think that's what gives me hope, and that's why I personally am confident in saying like as a building block right now, he's top 5. Top 4. I would say top 4.
Wow.
Like go right now. There's no more than 4 quarterbacks I would put above CJ Stroud to build a franchise around going forward.
Okay.
I could take an easy validation one, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do one where I'm definitely getting it on the ground level, but you mentioned that a flip may have switched off. There was a switch that flipped on for somebody this past Sunday, and motherfuckers better watch out. Massage Boy is back. Massage Boy. Massage. And I told y'all, I said, listen, if he ever fired it back.
He's playing better. Yep.
2
weeks now. 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks straight.
Against the best defense in the league. Yes, I think the Ravens are the best defense in the league. Second half, 14 for 14, 134 yards and a touchdown, and a come from behind win against arguably what people were thinking in that time, the best team in the league. So I told you so.
Yep.
He may have got some massages.
We'll see what happens.
He may have got some massage. That's like I said. There's an easy one I could have taken, and if nobody takes it, we'll come back because I think it was something that we could agree on as consensus.
No, I'm glad you brought that up because I hate to victimize PY again, but he's been all over Twitter saying Deshaun Watson will never ever be good again. He's been telling people it's never going to happen. Well,
yeah, I'll continue saying it.
It's happening.
If
you see actually the full game he played before the game he got hurt, he had a good game that game too. So it's three games so far now this season where he's the last 3 full starts. He's played pretty well. So I'm not even rooting for it. Right. Like I'm not like he's a guy where I'm just like, like you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
I don't want to root for him, but I'm also not gonna let that be an agenda for me. I'm gonna call it as it is. And right now, he is starting to get it back. Like this, if there was ever a game for you to be like, okay, like he's you can't deny what he did in that second half versus the Ravens. You absolutely can't. You absolutely can't. And that is a division opponent that has, like what you said, Pete, the best defense in the league right now. Look what they did to the freaking Lions. And look what they did to the Seahawks. Like they smothered teams. Great offense at home. And the second half he came back. So he absolutely deserves credit. So again, I'm not rooting for him, just calling it as it is. He's playing.
We'll see what happens with him.
So PY, you gave your validation earlier. Do you have anything that you would like to take back, or is that not in your vocabulary?
That's not. See, I give people props all the time. I took an L on Ben Simmons. You think there's anything else I can't take an L on?
So with that being said, he may be, bro. I'm not sure. He may be. I definitely wish we had another option, and we may.
We may have an option in the offseason.
Yes. I kind of wish they would have gave a second to Jalen Johnson, but they probably don't have the cap.
I agree with that statement. I think they want to go first.
Speaking of things that you can swallow your pride and say you were wrong, do you have anything that you would like to share with the class?
I feel as if you have something you want.
No, I don't. I know
you
say so many outlandish things. I don't.
Just say it.
Say what?
I don't know. There's too many to count. And now Chuck's see, my memory is not as I let a lot of things slide that Chuck's may remember.
I feel like there's a specific I don't know.
Chuck's may have one that he knows Okay, maybe he doesn't.
I just want him to say it. Like say whatever redo.
I don't think he has anything.
I'm trying to think of one.
I don't think he had. Do you remember one that he has that he stamped his claim on that through 9 weeks of the season has been utterly wrong?
Yeah, I have plenty. But I want to let him. I don't want to give him a give me. I want him to because he always says I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong. Well, here's your chance, buddy. I'm not going to lay it out for you.
I see. I thought signing Zeke might have been a good idea, and I'm very happy we didn't do that.
But yeah,
okay, all right, yeah. And to be fair to you, all three of y'all were on board for Zeke, and I was like, y'all are crazy.
Just because you called him,
I didn't want him as a starter. I just wanted him as a goal line guy.
Yeah, no, there's no way. I'm not using this as my validation. But remember,
just push him in the end zone.
I'm actually backing you up on this, PY. You weren't the only one that wanted Zeke. I said, hell no.
So Pete, you clearly have one.
No.
You were pushing really hard, so I was like, which one is?
Because I thought, sorry for me, thinking that you would hold yourself accountable and remember what you actually said.
I say so many things; it's hard.
No shit.
I talk a lot, like
you don't say. Okay. And then I think
it's easy with Chucks because it's specifically with him, usually just running back stuff. So it's like if it's running back thing, I can go over and be like, all right, that's wrong.
Truth be told, the validation part, you could have went a lot of different ways. You had more validations that you threw that shit at the wall and stuck the Justin Fields thing.
Thankfully,
the Justin Fields thing, we're waiting till the end of the season. So,
thankfully, we have a beautiful PY's 5 section coming up.
Oh dear.
I don't know.
Jake, your validation.
I don't know if it's necessarily a validation, but I was really high on him in the draft, and he's having a really solid rookie year, along with his teammate CJ Stroud. Tank Dell's doing really good. Tank Dell's doing really good.
He took that nasty fall. I wish he would have stayed out.
Yeah,
I'd still be alive in the survivor pool. Fucking bitches.
Mm-hmm.
But
I wanted the Eagles to draft him so bad, but
it is what it is. So the overarching one that I thought we are going to take part in is where the Lions are right now. That would have been very easy to say because we all thought the Lions would be Kings of the North, but I didn't like to be second in the overall conference.
I didn't.
And then after getting that thrashing that they got in Baltimore, you know what I mean? So they are what we thought they were going to be. And then now from this point on in the schedule, until they get to week 17 against Dallas, which may mean something, it may not, depending on what the Eagles do. We will see. We will see. So
I didn't do my validation yet.
Okay, yet. I was not trying to rush into it. I didn't want to rush into it. So thank you.
It's America's favorite segment.
Oh my god. No, there are a number of things I could have gone with this also, especially with running backs. But I'm not gonna go the running back route. But I called it on the Ravens. Now this is a tough one because they just lost to the Browns, but it's a division opponent. But if you look at as in total what they've been able to do this year, they look like they are very well the best team in the AFC. And I said they were my preseason pick to go to the Super Bowl. I said, hey, Lamar Jackson is going to do so well with that new with that new system with Todd Monken. Not a Greg Roman offense. And we are seeing it. We are absolutely seeing it. Are they perfect? No, but they were starting to show life way sooner than a lot of people expected. Like they got that team got that offense under. They were like, oh, okay, we get it. Like a few weeks into the season, they bite themselves in the foot more. That's probably the reason why they have some of these bad losses. But when they're firing all cylinders, look what they did to some of these really good teams. And that defense is insane. And it's crazy because the defensive coordinator, McDonald, it's not like they have superstars on defense. You have Jadeveon Clowney, all right? Like Jadeveon Clowney is one of their
wearing 24.
God.
Yeah.
It's such an odd number.
That is weird.
So
for somebody that frame and that stature.
Yeah. So that again, the Ravens are looking they're looking like the best team in the NFC, and that's one thing I called. And I really am looking forward to seeing what they do in the playoffs because they look really good, especially. And I'll get to it in one of the next segments we have. But Pete, they have one specific running back that is looking really, really good that I will touch on in a bit. But he is looking
number 34.
Excellent.
We know
he's looking excellent. So
ECU Pirate, I know. All right, so I mean, the people are asking for it. Some people are saying, "Give us what we want." Don is saying we can skip the list.
Everyone wants it. Like, come on. Like, it's slowly becoming everyone's favorite show on HUD.
Did you ever think a point in your life at whatever age you are now, you'll be on?
Don, what is your profile picture now?
Yeah, it's J.
I have no idea what that is.
It's J.
It's J.
Everyone's favorite miss.
But what does he have on his shoulders? Is it title?
Championship belt. Championship belt. Oh my god.
I don't know. But all right, man. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's get into this.
We're doing this.
PY, aka Nick Wright Jr. list.
Nick Wright Jr. list. All right, PY. What is the topic? Hold on, I have to fix the comments. Hold on. What? Oh, god darn it. Hold on, sorry. What is the topic this week?
The 5 things PY was right about.
Oh my god. You turned into a whole segment.
You told me to.
Dude, I know.
Lord, this may get bad.
So I just want to throw it out there. Here at No Agenda Radio, we're about just looking through things and just trying to evolve and be better. And I gave this guy a really hard time. I wasn't fair to him. I didn't give him the respect he deserves. I've been hard on him and I've been rude. And maybe Chucks was right. And maybe I need to look a little harder at my Ohio State bias.
Okay.
And you know what? From the bottom of my heart, I just want to offer a sincere apology. CJ Stroud, I'm really sorry, buddy.
Wait, but this is.
But there's a but. There's definitely a swerve coming. There's a swerve coming.
Yeah, that was the swerve.
Okay. So what is the 5th thing on your list that you were right about, sir?
So this actually has nothing to do with you guys. This is just something that made me want to rip my freaking eyeballs out all season. Number 5, the Eagles will draft an O-lineman over Jalen Carter.
Is this right or wrong?
I was right. I was right that it was going to be wrong.
Oh yeah, because you were. I hear what you're saying. Okay.
My brain hurts.
It's confusing.
So I worded it wrong. I apologize.
So PY is of the fact that people were saying that they were not going to draft Jalen Carter. They're going to draft an offensive lineman over Jalen Carter, and PY was like,
"No." All off season, all I heard was people pounding their chest, telling me how smart they were, how glued into the Eagles they were. They know Howie. They know this. Eagles draft first line linemen randomly. That's a thing, even though they've only done it twice under Howie. They're so smart. They're so smart. They're never gonna draft Jalen Carter.
He's giving himself his own flower, Joe.
And you know what? It was beautiful. I'm beautiful. I'm so happy I was right because Jalen Carter is Rookie of the Year.
Okay. All right. So number 4, Todd has not been on when you've been doing your list. So this is
Todd just hasn't been here, man. He hasn't experienced the greatness. So if you have followed this show and you got to dive deep into my mind, it's like a 2-in-1 situation.
Who fucking wants to do that?
Beautiful people. You know, I think a lot of people on this network just didn't believe. They didn't believe. They didn't dig deep and believe in their hearts of hearts, which I'm still disappointed in. And you know what? We should have all believed in Tua, and we should have believed in the Dolphins' offense. Like PY.
I mean, you could believe in Tua against teams that are under 500 all day.
Yeah.
I will continue believing in Tua.
No, you just feel bad for Tua. Stop.
I believe in him. I'm sorry.
No,
That's what
you
the shirt
don't.
says. Believe in
No,
Tua.
you don't.
You know.
Yeah. That's so accurate.
Oh man.
You know, I'm actually surprised at number 3. It hurts my heart.
Yourself,
right? It just the board. We look at it.
Are you surprised?
We didn't see it coming.
This is true, David.
You said, but these are things you were right about.
We were confused because
Pete Ryan just wrote it down on a piece of paper. He's like, "Wow."
He was supposed to change life in Chicago.
But
no, he sucks donkey dicks. Justin Fields. Justin Fields letting down Ohio State fans everywhere. But thankfully, there is an Ohio State quarterback that doesn't suck donkey dicks.
Oh, shit.
CJ Stroud, baby.
Wait, what? What's going on? I'm so confused. What am I supposed to write in at number 3?
Justin Fields sucks. That's all you need to write. It's perfect.
Okay,
right? You can put in
CJ
some
Stroud
exclamation points, though.
Okay. I'm surprised that's number 3.
Wrap this shit up, Pete. No, okay. They gave me this power, and I'm going to use it to the best of my ability. God damn it.
Lord.
I'm so confused how you can say you're surprised when this is 5 things you were right about. How are you surprised about something?
We had to do a deep dive. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Number 2 makes me very happy. Like, so happy. It is nothing but No Agenda Radio. What are you talking about?
Oh my god. What's your number 2?
Jake fought me pretty hard on this, but don't pay 40-year-old quarterbacks. Aaron freaking Rodgers.
You mean he's coming back next month, bro?
Yeah, sure. Okay. I believe Avonte Maddox comes back before he does.
Oh my god.
And number 1, I feel very proud and strong of this. The 2023 Bears are the 2019 Browns. Overhyped, overpaid, and overrated.
I mean, yeah, that's just so outlandish. But like you were saying, like just because they had the money to do all this, it was going to be good.
Yeah.
God, I can't stand it when someone like yourself is right. And when you're like this version of yourself. What that sounded like an M80. It's supposed to be a bomb, and that sounded like a little firecracker. PY is a living version of what Kevin Hart said. Little pistol. No, Cedric said little pistol starter.
Yeah.
Todd Womack.
What's the useless list?
I mean,
the best list. It's the best list in sports.
As much as I hate it, these are all things that he has said. So there's no lies being told on this list.
But he was surprised about one of them. Just remember, he was surprised about one.
Can you just imagine him creating a list, looking up in the mirror and be like, "I don't know what to tell you. You don't know what to tell yourself. Like, what the fuck?"
I don't know what to tell you, man. That was another episode of No Agenda Radio.
Oh my god.
It's opposite days. If you says it's No Agenda Radio, you probably
No Agenda Radio every week. No Agenda Radio, man.
Oh, man.
We need
He
shirts.
said, don't save him.
We need shirts.
All right, so wanted to get so that's it. We're going a little short preview real quick because we are about 6 days. We're 6 days out. Monday Night Football, Super Bowl 57 rematch. How we feeling about the game? Do we feel as if we're going to come out of Arrowhead, which is a hard place to play? Andy coming off a bye. Do we come out with the W?
Yes.
I think we lose.
Yeah, I think so
I
too.
don't.
I think we lose.
I think Mahomes is not playing great right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously Andy out of the bye is phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, did he just say Mahomes is not playing well?
I don't.
I mean, he's there. I will tell you this: they're not where they are right now because of Patrick Mahomes.
No.
That's not. It's amazing for me to say this.
Is why.
Yeah, but the offense isn't struggling because of Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not saying they're struggling.
We all know the reason why the offense is struggling.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any outside skill. They don't have the skill positions. Can't beat them by 1-on-1. Luckily for them, all the draft capital they put into the young secondary and Nick Bolton, Willie Gay, is paying off. Like their front four isn't the best. It's crazy. Their front four is probably worse than what we played against the Super Bowl, but their back seven is playing better.
Yeah, their back seven is lights out.
So even with that being said, I'm going to pick us to win the game. I think we have the motivation. I think we're a more balanced team on both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. And luckily enough, I think our secondary can actually match up with their skill position players. You know, it's probably one of the worst groups that we played in the last 3 or 4 weeks, you know, especially coming off of CD and all them boys. So I'm not scared of anybody in their secondary, in their wide receiver room. But once again, number 87 is out there. He was kind of quiet in the game in Frankfurt. So if they attack the middle of the field, it's going to be a long day. But I definitely think, once again, I think we come out with a win. I'm not going to put a score on it. I'll put a score on it. So I'm going to say 30 to 27 Birds. That's my feeling.
Yeah.
30 to 20. Yeah, McDuffie is nice. I'm trying to think else. Obviously Ward. They got another dude too. I can't think of his name. Tall, lanky corner.
Yeah. What the hell is his name?
His name is escaping me. But
his name is. I can't remember his name now.
What is his name? I can't think of it.
I'll look it up.
It's escaping me though. But
clearly Damien can't read.
So do you think that PY? I mean, you coming hot off your list, things you were right about. What said win or loss Monday? You said win, right?
Yeah, we're winning. I feel very confident. I like.
L'Jarius Sneed. Sorry, L'Jarius Sneed. You're talking about Sneed.
Sneed. Yeah. There's another one too, the rookie, one of the picks this year. I can't remember the name, but he's getting play time. He's a safety. He's a very physical corner, in the secondary. But once again, like I think when we ask the questions to the test, I think we have more answers. I will say Steve Spagnuolo is definitely in his bag right now.
Uh-huh. Oh, he's feeling it.
Steve Spagnuolo he's definitely in his bag right now. We have to see. It's definitely gonna be a change of pace. So transition into we have another list for you tonight, and this is Chuck's.
Oh my
RB top 5 list. Top 5 list? Is that did I say that?
Well, it's not a top 5. No, it's not a top 5.
It's a Chuck's Charles Moranin RB list.
Yeah, it's like it's just guys I want to spotlight halfway through the year, either because of how they perform.
Nothing but list.
Hey, PY gets it. I get one,
no,
and I get one only once during the season. So, no, these are just running backs I want to spotlight for different reasons. Going through the halfway point of the year and moving forward. So, real quick, it's not gonna take long like it did with PY's. But number 5 guy I want to shout out is Jaylen Warren. Everyone in Pittsburgh, they talk about Najee Harris. Jaylen Warren, I'd argue, could be their better running back. He's explosive and he's a monster in pass pro. Don't let his short stature misleads you. He packs a punch. He's already one of the best pass protecting running backs in the game. He is. If you're looking at the Steelers running game, I'd go with Jalen Warren right now over Najee Harris. Number 4, Pete, the guy we both were pretty high on. This past draft, he's had a really good 2 games so far. He's finally got an opportunity last week, and he showed what he can do. If you guys remember, I said that aside from like Bijan Robinson, Keaton Mitchell is probably the most explosive running back in that draft class. So like he is showing it. The guy is fast. He is absolutely fast. Mm-hmm. So I hope that he continues to get more touches. I hope he supplants Justice Hill as the second running back with Gus Edwards. I think it should be Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell. Number 3, a guy that you guys know I had question marks on going into the draft, but once he was drafted, I was like, oh, hell yeah.
He went up his destination.
Oh my God. Yep. This is a pure example of a guy where destination landing spot matters a ton. Mm-hmm. Because he went to the offense, the one offense that knows how to use his speed. And I know he's hurt, but he just came off the IR list. They opened up his 21 day window to practice, so he should be coming back. I think Devin A-Chain is going to be such a monster for the Dolphins, not only this year, but years moving forward. If you have him in fantasy, awesome. Great job getting him. If you are able to trade for him now, if possible, because Devin A-Chain is going to be so good for the Dolphins for the next few years. And then number 2, a guy we're very familiar with, and I alluded to it before earlier, DeAndre Swift. I think, the running has been down, but I think we also have to look at the fact that, DeAndre Swift is doing things as a receiver as well. And I think that's a huge thing. I hope we continue to use him as a receiver, and I expect it to happen in the receiving game. He's been such a great addition to this Eagles team, and I'll say it again. He is the most talented running back we've had since LaShawn McCoy. I stood by that. We said that, I think, week 2 or week 3, and I still stand by that. Mm-hmm. And number 1, this is no surprise, but I have to mention him once again. My guy, my favorite running back in the game. He's having himself a year. Mr. Kenneth Walker, guy that people argued with me about during that draft and said, no, he's not on the same level as Breece Hall. He is showing that he's on that same level. He is an elite, talented running back. People have to stop disrespecting this guy. He is absolutely special. And it's so funny because when they drafted Zach Charbonnet, everyone's like, oh, it's going to be a split backfield. The split backfield hasn't happened. Kenneth Walker is still the guy. He's the lead guy. He's the main guy for the Seahawks. It's going to continue to happen. He is a special talent. My favorite running back in the league right now, Kenneth Walker. Obviously, I have to spotlight him. He's having such a great year. So big ups. And there are a bunch of guys I wanted to include, but obviously I could only do 5. I know people have talked about Zach Moss, Gibbs. Again, this is not a rankings. These are just guys I want to spotlight. But Gibbs has started to play out. David Montgomery's back from injury now. He's doing great. Zach Moss was playing so great for the Colts. Unfortunately, his role started to diminish now with Jonathan Taylor back. They're starting to give him less work. So unfortunately, that sucks for him. But he was playing lights out. I'm trying to see who else is people mentioned. But yeah, a lot of running backs I wanted to give a shout out to. But these are my 5 I'm spotlighting moving forward for the second half of the year. So yeah, if you got them in fantasy, awesome. You're probably doing really well. Yeah.
Nice. Kansas City Chiefs corner I was talking about was Jalen Watson, and then also the backup to L'Jarius and Josh Williams, 6'2" and 6'3", respectively. Long, physical cornerbacks.
Watson, that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
Jalen Watson.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was drafted. He's not
I
rookie,
forgot the
second
fact that
year.
they drafted Brian Cook too. I forgot all about that shit.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we lost
Where
Jake.
did Jake go?
But
We lost Jake. Okay.
spend about 5 more minutes with you guys out here. No huddle. What I wanted to get into real quick was non-MCU, non-Star Wars favorite Disney villain.
This is easy.
Like favorite.
So easy. So easy.
Just
like, oh my god, he's so evil and fun, or oh my god, he's just the best character.
I don't know.
I mean, it's still subjective for you. You could, I mean, overall, like if you could be one, like the one Disney OG Disney villain that, whether you could say is the most evil, the one you related to the most, that kind of had a side, who would you say?
So I'll go random. I'll go the Sheriff Nottingham from Robin Hood.
Okay.
He's just he always Robin Hood's one of my favorite movies, and I always chuckle when I watch it. And every scene he's in, I bust a gut.
Okay.
Go
ahead.
I don't know about Sheriff Nottingham. Is Disney's iteration of Sheriff Nottingham?
It's a lot of fun.
The number one villain in Disney is absolutely Hades of Hercules.
Yeah.
Absolutely Hades. Like the like his character is just, it helps that movie so much. Like that movie is already the most underrated Disney movie, and it's he makes James Woods as Hades is so remarkable. Like
Rest in peace, James Woods,
he's
man.
so rest in peace. He was able to
dead.
do like
James Wood is no longer with us for a while.
Since when?
Cancer.
pretty sure he's still alive.
Cancer, I believe.
I don't
No,
think
you're right.
so.
No, my bad. It's ill of him. Nope, that's on me. He's still
No,
alive.
he's just crying and complaining every 2 minutes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's
I
the
thought
crazy
he was,
Trump.
I thought
My
he
bad.
was-
I thought I could swear he had cancer or something. I thought they took him out of there. My bad.
But yeah, James Woods as Hades was remarkable. Like his fast talking, quick wit nature and dialogue was amazing. Like he gives so much life to that character, where he's a villain, but you kind of like you enjoy his presence, and you could not root for him, but like you. It just he does such a good job as a Disney villain, and so like yeah, there are a lot of good ones though. Like there's definitely a lot of good ones. Scar is probably one of the most evil ones.
Mm-hmm.
He's also just so freaking charming.
So yeah, Scar is one. People say Jafar. Jafar is probably one of the most evil ones too. Yeah, I'm trying to think of
Yasair, or however you say his name from The Princess and the Frog.
Yeah. I wish his role was bigger though. Like
Yeah.
Donna just asked that. Yeah, PY just said it. Dr. Facilier, I forget. I always
Facilier?
Facilier or something like that. Yeah. Let's see. Who else? Oh my God, Dave. Psycho said from Toy Story. Yeah. Pete, you didn't give yours.
Mine is just from an aspect of being cool, what he was trying to do, who I could kind of relate to, and just the look, the animation style. I love Jafar. Always. I've always loved Jafar.
He's a good one. Very, very good.
Evil. I can like just straight up evil, Maleficent.
Yeah.
Well,
she's just petty. Like it just.
But that's evil. Like that's you
didn't invite me to a party. Screw you. I'm gonna kill everyone.
Evil stepmother from Cinderella. she literally basically tried to hide, like you know, like you can't leave the house. Like this is what you do. We can do whatever we want. We're going to treat everybody better than you. Sneaky one though, because when this was first asked to me, I said, what can I do that's not typical?
Eagle stepmom.
And I'm gonna go Pal from Wally, the AI from
That's
Wally.
a really good
one. Good one. Very good one. Very good one.
I think the stepmom from Beauty Snow White is insane. She's like, oh my gosh, she's hotter than me. Yup, got time to choke her.
Yeah.
So I think there's one that
he said humans in general from Bambi.
From Bambi, yeah.
Man, yes, man. Man is very evil.
I think people forget this one guy in terms of pure evil. Frollo, Judge Claude Frollo from Hunchback of Notre Dame. He is it's disturbing. Like when you rewatch, I rewatched it a few months ago, and like he was straight up creepy with Esmeralda. He wanted to do like he's evil. He's pretty evil.
He's every like religious person who doesn't who has no idea of how to handle like their actual human feelings. They're like, no, the devil made me do it. Gotta kill him.
Right.
Yep.
You just be normal. Be like, well, she's hot.
Yeah, there's so many, man. Like there's a list. Like honorable mention, you got Isma from Emperor's New Groove, Randall from Monsters Inc. But I don't want to mention Sean. Is it Sean Yu, the villain from Mulan? Ratcliffe from Pocahontas, Shere Khan. So I mean, you got so many, man. Like Disney just has a litany of.
Well, yeah, because it's Disney. It has so many movies. So
who is a fantastic villain, and I think a lot of it has to do with who plays him. Ratigan.
Okay.
From Great Mouse Detective, where he's played by Vincent Price, and he's like so charming and fun and ridiculous, and then in a second he's literally trying to like rip your insides out.
The evil midget from Incredibles.
You talking about Syndrome? You talking about Sam Darnold? You talking about Sam Darnold?
He called him the midget,
which is funny because he's just like average height.
The mole mine or whatever the fuck he was called at the end of the movie, but I mean, it's something. We haven't said Captain Hook. People come on, like that's a classic. But Captain Hook, he was. I mean, if you believe what people believe, Captain Hook was actually the hero in that whole story.
Well, it all depends on what version of the story you're looking at.
Right.
Because in like the OG tales, like Peter Pan is a bad person. A very, very, very bad person. Yeah.
Damian Hernandez maybe with the comment of the night. I know Chucks will agree. He says the best villain from Disney, Bob Iger.
How is he a villain?
No.
How is he a villain?
He's a hero.
Yeah, how is he a villain?
He's thinking of the last Bob.
Yeah, he's thinking of
Bob told every animated person to burn in the fires of hell.
Yeah, Bob Iger is not the villain. He's actually the.
How do you have two CEOs both named Bob?
It's pretty funny. All right, so I will argue. Wait, what's that show from the 90s that's like X-Files that everyone loved?
X-Files itself?
No, it's not X-Files. It was like.
You got to give me a network that it was on.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was ABC. You know, everything spooky happening in this town.
It's not ringing a bell for me.
You said in the 90s?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Twin Peaks?
Yes, that's what it was. So if you're
if
you were a Twin Peaks fan, then Bob Iger is your supervillain. So when Twin Peaks was on the air, it was like the first season was one of the most popular shows around.
Mm-hmm.
And they were I won't spoil it, but like they were trying to find out who killed this person, and it was in second season. They're still leading up to it, and Bob Iger's like, yeah, that's nice and everything, but let's just reveal it. And they're like, well, that's going to ruin the show because the whole show is about the mystery. And he's like, yeah, I don't care. And it got canceled.
I mean, that's the problem.
President of ABC at the time.
some of these dudes and some of these department heads, they get into these things and they have their own visions, and they just have so much power, man.
Yep. Like,
so
I started rewatching this show called Sliders, and that whole show is like nothing but like behind the scenes shenanigans.
Yeah.
Full House? No.
Oh, so Angry Bear is saying Iger approved everything that Chapek got blamed for.
No,
not necessarily. No,
hey,
like, he was gone for like 3 years.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
Chapek didn't get rid of all the animated features.
There were things that Iger did approve on that were already in motion that people think that they want to blame Chapek for, which is fine. But there were a lot of decisions that Chapek made afterwards that really lost a lot of revenue for Disney.
He tried to force too much on Disney Plus. My favorite quote from this guy was, and I quote, "No adult cares about animated movies or TV shows, so who cares if they're on?"
Yeah. The streaming took a massive hit based on his decisions. There were a lot of departments that they had to reform because Chapek was investing into projects that weren't working. They just weren't panning out. And then with stuff in the Disney parks, he was doing things that really took away a lot of like the good experience at the parks.
Yep.
So there's not like I'm not saying Iger is perfect.
Right.
But Chapek, there's a reason why Chapek he was fired in the manner that he was so suddenly, because a lot of the board just couldn't stand him anymore because the company was in a nosedive.
Yeah, you don't just randomly bring back your former president. That's not a thing Disney does. It's never done that.
Yeah, but
that's not a progressive move. I will say that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's
he just sucked that bad to where they're like, "Oh, cool."
What's your non-Pixar Disney Mount Rushmore?
Oh, for me, this is my okay. My personal Rushmore. My favorite movie ever is going to be Hercules. So Hercules is going to be on there. You're going to have Aladdin, and then the staples. You have to have Cinderella, and you have to have Snow White. So you have two legends, two classics, but then two modern-ish ones. For me, that's how I would approach it. That's how I would approach the Mount Rushmore.
Aladdin definitely for me. Sleeping Beauty.
Hell yeah. Hercules, best soundtrack. Best Disney soundtrack. Love it.
It's also one of the ones they remake every like 5 years, which is funny.
I'm trying to think. That's hard, man.
There's so many.
That's a good one. Yeah, I'll go just because these are my favorites. Robin Hood, Great Mouse Detective. I'll go Little Mermaid, and this is just out there just because I think it's a very fun film. Black Cauldron, because the movie is great and the history behind that movie is just as good.
Yep. Yes, Mark. Oh my God. Like he killed it. He was cooking in that song.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yes.
I would probably say Lion King too. That's 3. I've had to go with a rotating door for the 4 or 5. It just depends on what type of mood I'm in.
Lion King is definitely one there. I think I would. The thing about Lion King is I cannot. The death of Mufasa has scarred me for life. No pun intended.
And the 80
to where I refuse to have Grayson watch that scene. So whenever we play the movie and it gets to the scene where he's the stampede, I fast forward.
I forget who it was, but I remember a person who worked on that movie. I think it was something music related to where they're like, "All right, cool, we'll pay you this amount, or you'll get like a cut of the movie." And they're like, "What do you want?" And they're like, "I'll go with the royalties." because they didn't think much was going to happen to it, and then it took the hell off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was.
I think Lion King definitely would have to be, if I'm thinking about it now, would definitely have to be on my Mount Rushmore because there's such a legacy now behind it.
Yep.
Like there's so many. There's a Broadway show. There's a show in Animal Kingdom off of it. So like there's spin. Yeah. So I think Lion King definitely would have to be on my Mount Rushmore. Oh my God! Yes, Goofy movie soundtrack. That one too. Oh yes. Oh Ryan. This is all I can say is Disney took Lucasfilms from a multi-billion-dollar franchise to a multi-billion-dollar franchise.
Yep.
They've made all of whatever money they spent on it. They've made it back double. Like even if you don't like what Disney has done, they've made their money back and then some.
It's like the animated stuff is done better than the live action, so the critical acclaim for movie wise this isn't there, but everything else, Rebels.
But even their movies, like they've made like a combined like $4 billion from their films.
From the movies, Yep.
So it's like you made your money back and then some. Like it's already paying off. It's paying off even just in merchandise.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes.
Op is a great one.
First 5 minutes in, boy.
I had a girl I was dating. She's like, "Oh, let's watch a Disney movie on Valentine's Day." I'm like, "Oh, fantastic!" Like 10 minutes in, I'm like, "What the hell is this movie?"
Depressing as shit. Oh my God, that's so sad. Yeah, another really, really sad moment.
It's up there like Guardians, where I'm just like, what?
Mighty Ducks. People forget that's a Disney movie.
That is a great Disney movie.
Yes, it is. But yeah, I mean, we can go on and on talking about Disney. It's 2 hours in. We got to cut it at some point, fam. We thank everybody for rocking with us. As you already know, Birds of a Feather every Tuesday night until the foreseeable future. Until we tell you otherwise, A2D Radio, like, share, subscribe, and follow on all platforms. Catch us for the next 24 hours if you want to listen to the audio only. Show stops right around 150. We get into No Huddle. You can stick around for that. We appreciate it, as always, to everybody else in the chat. Martian, Brian, Matt, Don. Who else was in here tonight? Damien, Joe, the usuals. We thank you for rocking with us. Y'all like family, man. We are out of here. Peace. Go Birds.